Rebuttal criterion fallacies. And these are referring to people either failing to rebut key arguments or leaving out things that should be part of their rebuttal. It includes fallacies of counter-evidence, ad hominem fallacies, and fallacies of diversion. First, denying the counter-evidence. For example, you put forward some interesting arguments and key evidence, but I think we should focus on the real issue, which is people's lives. And this is a fallacy, of course, because leaving out key evidence from your argument just weakens it, and it becomes quite clear when you do this. 2 is ignoring the counter. For example, though you've put forward overwhelming evidence, I prefer to focus on the anecdotal evidence that I've been presented with. And this is a fallacy, of course, because your argument should be strong enough to support itself without denying or ignoring the key evidence presented. 3 is abusive ad hominem, also called refuting by character or arguing the man. For example, I believe you have just divorced your wife recently, so should we trust your opinions on marriage equality? And this is of course a fallacy because attacking your opponent does not actually weaken their argument or strengthen your own. 4 is poisoning the well, also called discrediting or smear tactic. For example, your opinions on rape culture are irrelevant because you are a man. And this is a fallacy because basically everyone has a right to their opinion and to their place in a debate regardless of their sex. 5 is the two wrongs fallacy. For example, you've said widely that you think Ubers are a joke, but yet you were caught taking an Uber yourself. And this is a fallacy, of course, because the actions of your opponent are not really that relevant to the strength or logic of their argument. 6 is attacking a straw man. For example, you've said there should be stricter policies on immigration. Does this mean you believe in turning back the boats? And this is a fallacy where you get a complex argument with nuance and you sum it up to a simple phrase or a much simpler, more crude version of the argument, and then you attack that repeatedly. This is a fallacy because obviously that's not their argument and it's just a way you've rephrased or reworded their argument. 7 is trivial objections, also called hair splitting. For example, you've spoken in great detail about the bushfires that took place, but you referred to John Smith and he's actually from Wollongong, not from Hobart, as you said when you were presenting your argument. And this is of course a fallacy because the nitpicking is not really that important, but the overall message of an argument is. 8 is red herring, also known as misdirection or ignoratio elenchi. For example, though you've presented a very clear argument here, have you considered the case of cat ownership in Hobart? And this is of course a fallacy because its entire job is to draw the audience or the reader away from the key issue. 9 is resort to humour or ridicule, also called reduction ad ridiculum. For example, great debating, but now for a joke. What do you get when you cross a horse with an Irishman? You dumb schmuck. And this isn't necessarily a fallacy. Humour in an argument isn't in itself bad, but if you're using it for the same purpose as a red herring, then of course it's not actually strengthening your argument and it's just trying to distract the audience.